Welcome to Key and Kier's Kingdom Connection, featuring
my dad, Reggie Key, and
my dad, Kier Hopkins Smith.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Like
yes,
that
sir.
one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That one has some reverberation on it. Key and Kier's.
Kingdom Connection.
Yes.
Hey, look, so I want to start off and do something a little different. As we enter into episode 101, we have officially turned the corner. Last time was episode 100. I want to do a PSA, but it's not a public service announcement. It's a podcast service announcement. No, I'd be flipping stuff. People may see this milestone that we've reached and say like, oh man, 100 episodes. They must really have, they follow shit must be like through the roof and this, that, and the likes. And to be honest with you, it's not. Like between the two channels that we always talk about on YouTube, Manu Forte Ministries and Power in My Testimony, we probably have 100 subscribers. We barely see people give us thumbs up. We don't come on here. I mean, you see me looking gruff. We don't come on here, completely polished all the time. I just came from working out. We don't come in with the freshest gear because it's not about any of that.
Right.
That's very superficial type stuff. It's a superficial reason to get in front of this camera and give the stuff that we're giving as the Father gives it to us. The real reason why we do this is one, because we recognize something exists between the two of us. That two or three gathered, the Lord is constantly with us.
Yes.
The Lord is constantly revealing truths to us that we apply to our lives or are applying to our lives while we then relay it and convey it to you.
Release.
Because we want this thing to work on us, to work on you the way it's working on us.
That's right.
And that's what drives us. The content is constantly. We got so much stuff in the chamber that we want to talk about. We were going to go in one direction yesterday in my mind, and then something happened yesterday. And I was like, no, we need to talk about this, right? And so
It's called them divine shifts. Let's go. Right.
Just be encouraged, man. Like when you get into this place where God has you doing a thing for a season, don't worry about all the things that social media will tell you need to worry about. That stuff will come. I mean, I had somebody talk to me today and was like, I saw your post yesterday. She didn't like it, nothing, but she was like, Dad, I needed that yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. And I've had a couple people.
Right.
I had a friend call me yesterday. He was like, hey man, I've been using some of your stuff in my men's group. He don't like none of it.
Right.
And I'm like, if I was driven by the likes,
you'd
I would have
stop.
stopped doing this a long time ago.
ago.
It ain't about that.
Right.
So PSA, man, just want to give y'all
and that's the podcast. I had somebody post, it was like, all right, for podcasters, what are some pro tips that you would give to podcasters? And honestly, this is one of those spaces of authenticity and transparency, right? Keep it 100 in what you do and what you go and what you go after. Because if you go after the likes and if you go after the views, then you're after the wrong things. Because I, just like you, I had a man of God that was like, man, I don't often watch your stuff, but there was one episode you released and it spoke to my whole life. Then there it is, right? Is that not why we do what we are called to do? Because whether you are affecting one or you're affecting a million, you might affect the one that affects the million.
That part.
PSA.
Now, let's get into the shift that happened, man. So, brothers, sisters.
Yes, God.
How do we even launch into this? I'm gonna try to tell a truncated version of the story that launches into this, so that we can then talk about it and chop it up.
Yep.
So
Do it.
On Monday, my son asked me to make him some tea for Tuesday, and that seemed strange to me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not sick or anything. Just it's kind of cold outside. Can you just remember to make some tea for me on Tuesday?" And matter of fact, it was Tuesday, and then we did it on Wednesday. So we got home. He gets home early on Wednesdays. I had a task to do with him. When we came home from that task, I remembered him and made his tea.
Yeah.
And while I'm making this tea, the Lord just opened up heaven. It was just like, I need you to see this. He was like, the reason you have been so offended, and I've been doing very well with my offense.
We both have been working on that fatherly offenses, right? I got you.
Because we've been reading a book called The Bait of Satan, by John Bevere with our men's group, Battle Camp Bible Study, which we have on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Join us if you'd like. So it's been ministering to us greatly. And so it wasn't about dealing with the offense. It was about rooting out the cause of it.
Yes, sir.
And he said, you remembered your son. And he was like, the issue that you've been having when you give like rules around the house, things that you want to have done, things that they do, and they don't do it. It's not about the disobedience as much. The lack of them remembering you is what bothers you. And I was like, ooh, because he was like, that's what my concern was, both in the old covenant and the new covenant.
In the new covenant.
In the old covenant, he said things like, I will remember my covenant, my everlasting covenant between God and every living creature, and including, of course, his chosen people. And he was like, we as parents go out of our way to remember our children. And when they decide to go their own way and to do their own will, what they are saying to us is, we do not remember you.
Yeah.
We don't care to recall and bring you back into our minds first. And I was like, ooh, that's so good. And he gave me then a way to kind of deconstruct this word remember. And this is what he said specifically. He said, we are constantly able, we as parents are constantly able to allow them, our children, to re-enter as members of our families, hearts, and minds, even when they violate the rules we try to establish for their own good.
My God.
And I was just like, yo, this is game changing, because this can help so many parents explain, because sometimes you can't articulate to your children beyond your frustration what it is that's actually causing you this grief.
Right.
And I'm like, man, and I shared it with my children, and they just looked at me like, oh, okay. They didn't even have much to say. They was just like, man, okay. And I'm like, I'm gonna stop talking in a minute.
No, you got it.
But I told my wife, and I'm like, the learning curve that this it shortens the learning curve. This makes it so that they can understand what it is we as parents are trying to do while they're yet with us. It doesn't have to be that they only get this when they leave. Yeah. Sometimes the damage has become almost irreparable if we wait until they leave for them to then remember us. Right. They need to be able to do it while they're yet with us, so that we can have that relationship that's built and solid enough so that when they leave, they can come back and keep the relationship going. And I'm like, why haven't parents been able to hear and state and say this more? Because I think it would do so much to improve and repair the damages that are happening in our relationships.
Yeah, bro. And as my friend Reggie, dude, as you had broke this open to me as we were standing here at this table, and you said this, I had this whole stank face. I mean, it was a whole face, because I was like, bro, you literally just put words to my own personal frustrations that I've been dealing with, right? And even as you had said that, from this Old Testament aspect, you have these couple of times where you have one where Jesus says that, lo, I will be with you always, even until. It is something about knowing that this God that we serve is with, I will be with you. This is him saying, I'll be with you, right? And then you have in 1 Corinthians 11, where Paul is talking about communion, and he repeats this words of Jesus, it represents my body, which is offered as a sacrifice. You do this.
Do this.
And the Amplified says, in affectionate remembrance of me. Affectionate remembrance of me. Remember me. As I have walked these 3.5 years with you, remember me. Don't ever lose sight of me. Yep. And everything that you do and where you go, and when you preach my name, remember me. Don't just remember what he said.
Right.
Don't just remember what he did, but remember him. Dude, that's such a deep, intimate space that Jesus was calling his apostles to. Don't remember me.
Yeah.
Everything about me, right? And so I was like, damn, you just put words to my frustrations. And I told him, I was like, listen, now this is where God gets good. And I love God and how he decide to just drop this one on us. I told him, I was like, of my family, of my wife, my children, I was like, if there is one of mine that I know I can say, like in all humility, remembers me in the way by which you just spoke, is my son Josiah. He has turned a corner in his life, and he remembers. I said, he'll call me for no reason. He'll just pick up the phone. Pops, how are you? Dad, what's going on with you? What's good? I just need to hear your voice. What's happening?
5 minutes later.
We sit here talking. 5 minutes later, the phone rings, and it's Josiah. And I was like, yo, what's going on, kid? What's happening? He was like, oh, what's good? I said, son, did you need something?
I ain't want nothing.
He said, I ain't want nothing,
just
Dad.
Between classes.
I'm just between classes. Wanted to call you and chop it up.
And
Right
a smile that hit both of our faces.
Bro.
It's not even my son. And I'm like, man, that's good stuff.
That's
though.
good. But this is where we need it because, and here's something, an aspect that I wanted to be able, because when he spoke this, Jesus and God both spoke these things to a group of people.
Yes.
And I will say that because it wasn't just an individual, I'm just going to give this to Moses or I'm just going to give this to Peter. He actually spoke it to a group. This speaks to the village aspect of how this remembering of each other comes into strong play. Because sometimes you actually need another adult to help our children
You do?
with remembering their parents.
Yes, you do.
You need other adults that are around them.
That's good.
So be careful, parents, of isolating your children from other credible, good-hearted, wise adults, because they will help your children to remember. Because when a child is frustrated with a parent, they might have a skewed perspective, and the other adult comes in and says, let me help you out with that.
And when they say something, they were like, oh,
Yeah,
they remember.
they remember.
My dad said that.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yep.
Right.
They remember. And so it's imperative of this kingdom aspect of us as kings and queens together to help our children and as parents to be remembered, because we need you. And I will say this to my family, to anybody out there, to my children. Yes, as a father, we're going to do what God has assigned us to do. We're going to do it with everything that's within us. I was just talking to my 19-year-old. I told this to Josiah when he's younger. As your father, I can't afford not to love you,
Right.
because you're my legacy. And because I want what God has put in me to go further than me, you're the first level of my legacy. I can't afford not to love you.
Or, to reframe that, I can't afford to not remember you.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't afford not to remember you.
I can't afford that.
I can't afford that. And so because of that, there's got to be a reciprocation, though.
That's the word I was thinking.
There it is. There's got to be effective reciprocation. Whereas families, wives, you got to remember your husbands. Children, you got to remember your father. Remember them. Keep them in heart and in mind as we wake up in the morning. I told my daughter, I said, do you know how I fight for you in the spirit? I said, you wake up and you have peace because I was fighting for you in the spirit and you didn't even know. I said, but I'm okay with doing that.
Yeah.
I'll fight for you, even when you don't know. And I said, is that what the Heavenly Father does for us?
Isn't it? Right. And it's cool because when you think about how God remembers us, he's so big. Like he could easily be like, I forgot one of my kids. Like, be a Home Alone up in here.
Right. Yeah, I got millions more. Don't worry about
Like,
that.
man, I forgot my kid in the house. But no, he doesn't though. Like
Right.
he comes and sees about us. And to know that we have a God, a father, a husband to the church,
Yeah.
that will not forget us, right? And I think that should help. Eventually, that should help us move beyond the obedience of the law,
Yeah.
and get into. All he was trying to do was get you to turn your mind back to him. What did my father say though?
Yeah.
What did he say I should be doing? What my husband say though? And that helps us in our governance,
Yeah.
so that we never take his name in vain.
Yeah.
And so for those who might not have seen us chop it up about what that really means,
Yeah.
taking God's name in vain is not about a cuss word that you say.
Right.
It's about,
Right.
it's imagine a bride getting married to her husband, and then tomorrow she forgets or doesn't care to remember that she's married and is out here in these streets getting numbers, catching bodies. She has taken her husband's name in vain.
Yes, she has.
That is what God talks about when he says, do not take my name in vain, right? Though we no longer live according to the law, that if we forget that there is a sacrifice that we have to make, that is now a kingdom principle.
Yeah.
It is not a commandment that requires us to make a sacrifice when we don't fulfill it.
That's good.
But it is a principle now that
good.
that should still be governing our lives.
That's good.
You see the difference between,
Yep.
like, we got to follow the 10 Commandments, and if we remember him,
Yep.
and remember another way that Jesus said, if you love me,
Yeah.
you can't love somebody without remembering
Right.
them.
That's right.
If you love me,
Right.
you'll keep these commandments. If you remember me, you'll keep these commandments, because you won't want to take upon you this name, this
Yeah.
remembrance of him,
Yeah.
and not reciprocate.
Yeah, and not reciprocate. And that's why I was,
We was gonna do it earlier. We was gonna do it
listen.
earlier in the episode.
In the whole earlier, I told him, I was like, bro, we gonna start this thing. Pop, just knock that thing over, because this are already a mic drop.
Yeah.
And it goes into the heart of why it is that instead of just looking at the 10 Commandments as 10 Commandments, but see them broken down into two spaces, that the first 4 speak to us and God, and the last 6 speak to us and each other. Because once you see that, you see the cross. you can see what God is establishing. That way you can keep your head and your mind and your eyes on him remembering.
Can I challenge you though?
Yeah, sure that.
I believe I struggled with this for a little while. I believe the first 5 address God, even though the 5th one says honor your father and your mother and your father, right?
Yeah.
That seems like that's getting into the 6th, but the 6th through 10 is about your neighbor.
Yeah.
When you honor your father and your mother, you are doing so because you remember
Because you remember God.
God has ordained them to be your covering.
I can accept that 5 on 5.
Yeah.
I can accept that 5 on 5.
Because it took me a while to process that. Like the first 5 all deal with you remembering God and how God has set someone over you
Yeah.
in authority. Because
Yeah.
he's all about positions and
Right.
seats of
Right.
authority. So when you dishonor your mother and father,
it.
you are dishonoring your father who assigned them to you.
I can accept that.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, you already know. 5 on 5. I got you. And that's it. But God wants us to come to that space of remembering and keeping him at the forefront, right? Why is it that we need God to be on the throne of our hearts? Because if he's on the throne, baby, you're going to always see him. You're going to always have your eyes. Come and be a son. This is why he calls us to sonship, right? Because being in sonship is remembering the Father. It is knowing I am the son of the Heavenly Father. I can come sit at your feet and I can seek your face and remember you. And that's so big, man. So I appreciate personally you having this revelation, God giving you this revelation.
Man, me
because,
too.
man, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you.
But my Father in heaven.
Bro, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but it's the Father in heaven was like, let me put something on you. And it blessed me. Just by you giving that, it blessed me so much because as you had the conversation with your family, I know I want to have the conversation with mine.
Yeah.
And to help them because what we want to do is it's so much not in the book of not taking the bait of Satan. Be careful of the bait of Satan. Is the thing is it's only bait when it's attractive. The thing is that if we can remove the desire for the thing, it actually no longer becomes the bait.
It's not.
And this is what you were doing. You were like, I'm not in the place of offense. I'm recognizing the things that could bring me there, and we're already tapping into that preventative of that. So we're taking the taste of the bait and the look of the bait out of our eye and out of our mouth.
Yes, sir.
Right? And that's what I'm looking at. And I want to have that conversation because I don't want to be in that frustrated space.
Yeah, man. I'm sick of it. I'm like this thing is crushing fathers.
It is.
It is crushing fathers. I told
Causing
my
fathers to leave their houses,
leave their houses,
marriages.
leave this earth too
Right,
soon,
bro. Real
right?
talk.
I'm not talking about suicide. I'm talking about
Right.
your health is
Yeah.
all jacked up.
Yeah.
Like when I start to, I hadn't even planned on sharing this because we're supposed to be landing this plane.
Come on, fam.
But I'm so much of some of the health issues that I've had this year. Like recently, I kept feeling something like it felt like it was behind my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that concerned me. I'm like, yo, why am I feeling this kind of knot when I take a real deep breath? And I'm like, oh, it doesn't. I can still take the breath, but it was just something like something's
You
there.
felt something.
Went to the doctor. He told me what he thought it was. He's like, it's just nothing serious. Here's what it was. I can't remember the name. It was complicated. But then before I went to the doctor, I kept hearing cardiogram. I'm like, dang it. Like, Holy Spirit, you keep dropping this on me. I need to see about this, right?
Okay.
Got an x-ray, didn't get the cardiogram. But then the revelation that I had about, 2 years I've been chasing after the Lord, show me the Father's heart.
Yeah.
But what he's been telling me recently is I need you to get the husband's
The
heart.
husband's heart.
It's for another time.
That is another one.
But when I realized it, and I took my posture to accept the husband's heart concerning my wife, and we'll talk about it in another episode, man, that knot went away. I'm like, stop playing. Between me going to the doctor and him telling me what it was, and I believe that, God has positioned our bodies in such a way that they do respond. Like, oh, you know what it is? I can tell. He told me exactly where it was.
Yeah.
What he believed it was. And between the body doing what it does and the spirit revealing and doing what it does, the pain was gone. I'm like, see? But we walk around carrying this stuff. I just saw a young man lose his father this week. And I'm like, like I said, we getting crushed by this stuff, man.
Yeah, bro.
And we need it. You talking about you was gonna cry on this one. I'm about to choke up. Matter of fact, I don't think we can end until you cry, man. I'm gonna treat you like he said he was gonna cry. He said a tear might drop. I'm gonna treat you like Mr. T from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs up in here.
Get back in there, dude. Get back in there. Suck that thing up. You said, get back in there.
Don't suck it back up, bro.
But no, it's so good though, and inside of that, that's because that you just dropped something, and I know we're gonna have to hash that one out because many people don't understand the physical manifestation of spiritual issues, and most people don't understand it because we so quickly want to look everything as a natural, but you don't realize it's spiritual first, then it comes to natural. But that's a whole other podcast for the time. But listen, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate God. And I'm thankful for this one because I know I need to have a conversation with my family concerning this because my frustration was starting to start. And I felt it. I felt it in the fact that where I was seeing it, where you was feeling that, but the husband in your heart, where I was in it, it was starting to mess with my eyes.
Really?
It started to mess with my eyes, man, to the point where I kept seeing things like there were like the black spots just kind of run across. I was like, and I'm sitting back and I was like, what the heck did I just see? What was that? What is that? And just as you gave that, and I'm receiving that, man, immediately I'm starting to feel my eyes start to get better. And it's like it was affecting how I'm seeing things. It's affecting how I'm seeing my wife. It's affecting how I'm seeing my children. Right? It was affecting it because I'm over here like, y'all not remembering me and y'all taking me for granted and I need you not. Okay, I'm gonna land this plane because Jesus, yes.
Good stuff.
This is good. So this is Key and Kiers.
Kingdom Connection.
And we appreciate y'all. And now we, once again, the prayers that this bless somebody, that you receive it, that it does great for you as it did for us. We're going to be the first partakers of everything that we speak about. Be the first partakers. So y'all know how to find us. Manaforte Ministries.
Like, am I supposed to say it? What happened? We doing power of my testimony.
You can always find us on, what's the name of that other platform?
Spotify. Yeah.
You find us on Spotify, just in case you just want to listen to it and don't want to look at our faces, whatever. But we want to be there to be a blessing to you, and we appreciate y'all for this episode. Remember me.
Yes, sir.
That one didn't hit the same. That's all right.
This did, though.
Yeah, it did.